Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here today. Let's get right to it. I want to bring you one dream that my dad had yesterday, and I'm bringing it to you rather quickly, mainly because I'm wondering if it's a warning dream, and I'm wondering if I'm supposed to get it out quickly. I pray that. And one of the things I want to tell everybody is when I bring you these dreams, it's not to prove that they're from God or not from God or prophetic or not prophetic. They may be. I sense that they are. There's a lot to them that makes me think that they are. But the real point of everything is Jesus Christ and that He saves us. And if you understand that you're a sinner and you're lost without Him, all you have to do is turn to Him and believe Jesus is the Son of God. Be saved, learn about Him, be baptized, follow Him. Those are things to keep in mind as we move forward. I'd like to pray before I start. Father, I love you and I want to please you, and I humble myself before you, and I pray the words that come out of my mouth during this recording are your words. Guard me and allow me to speak what will make you proud of me. Bless all of those who hear this, that they may find you, be strengthened by you, and that we'll all see each other on the other side. In your Son's holy name, amen. All right, the dream, my dad's dream. He is 81, and here's what he dreamt on July 30th, 2022, between 6:30 in the morning and 9 o'clock in the morning. He was wearing Western wear, like cowboy outfit, and he was riding a horse. And he and a man were to go on a mission to New Mexico, a place called Gloria. And he was wearing boots, and they went into a wooded area. Up on the highway, they climbed a ridge, and from the wooded area got up to a highway, and they began walking for a long time on the highway with the horse, and they finally arrived at this place, and he was unsure what it was. It was a kind of a camp for kids. And he said, I was just there watching, and he knew it was religiously related, spiritually in God related. I was observing, and it was it was children. And then it was over, and it was time for him to go back home. And he rode the horse back, was in the wooded area, and the horse just stopped walking. And he realized, oh my goodness, I have not fed or watered this horse. And the horse was just too tired to walk on. So he got off the horse, and the horse began to eat kind of the dry leaves on the ground. And when my dad turned, there was a wolf in the distance. And he just stopped. My dad froze, and the wolf started charging right at them. My dad had a pellet gun, and he had 4 or 5 pellets with him. And he aimed, and he saw the head of the wolf in his sight and pulled the trigger and killed him, and he saw the wolf's head explode. Then he thought, I need to let this horse graze on something other than these leaves. And so he went up higher, and there was a pasture, and it was super green, super lush, and he let the horse graze in the pasture and eat the grass. Then he got on the horse, and they walked for a while. He got off the horse to let him rest, and a coyote, or coyote, for those of you who call it coyote, we call them coyotes. There was a coyote in the distance, and a coyote came running up to him and began nipping at his heels, and he kicked it, and the coyote stopped. They stared at each other, and then he left, which is typical of coyotes, because you can kind of scare a coyote away like that, but not a wolf. He then turned And there were a flock of doves in the distance, and they all just flew up in the air. And my dad took the gun, and just a knee-jerk reaction, because he was still in the fighting mode with the coyote and the wolf, he just turned and one shot killed one dove. It fell to the ground, but he felt bad about it. Got back on the horse, got to the stall where they all had started, the horse stall, and the two men, there were two men there. And he told him, my horse needs water. So the man asked, are you going to the meeting tonight? You're on the committee. And my dad said, I got to get home, but okay. So he took the horse and got to Apply Lake, which is kind of a low place in a prairie where water collects. And the horse drank and drank and drank and drank. My dad was knee deep in the mud, but the horse just drank and drank and drank. The two men came up again, and my dad asked, how do I get around this lake? They said, go to the right. And my dad did. He got to a church building where this meeting was supposed to be. It was not a church service. It was not a worship service. It was more like a meeting. And my mom was there, and they were very happy to see each other. And he knew that as long as he was with her, he could get home. So they were happy to see each other. And a guy came up, and my mom said, oh, this is Dr. And my dad couldn't remember the name she used in the dream, but this is Dr. So-and-so. And she said, Jim, my dad, she said, he just got back from Gloria. She told the doctor that my dad had just gotten back from Gloria. And the doctor asked, well, what was your business in Gloria? The doctor didn't even know Gloria was a spiritual place. And my dad said, it's a personal mission of mine, like a ministry of mine. Then the meeting was kind of starting. My dad sat in the back. More people came in, and he began to feel more and more uncomfortable because of how he looked. He had his clothes were dirty from riding all day. So he felt self-conscious about his clothes and that he wasn't cleaned up. So he got up and left and just stood in the foyer in the back of the church building. He could still look and see down the center aisle. And there was a man standing on the pulpit behind the podium. And he said, I'm no expert, but I'm expecting y'all to carry out the mission. Well, then the people all got up and started leaving the meeting. And this old cowboy, dressed in cowboy clothes, came up to him and said, I'll take you home. So they got in a pickup, and my dad's sitting in the middle between this old cowboy and some other guy. And the old cowboy said, I remember the good old days. And my dad said, I remember the old days too. And then the cowboy said, I remember the war, and it was horrible. And there was a guy in the front seat, and he said, I was in the war too, and it was horrible. And my dad, at that point, felt something in his mouth, and he pulled out 2 shards of glass that were on his tongue and spit them out. They stopped the pickup, and it was like a vendor place, a place of activity, maybe selling and buying, and they all got out of the pickup, and my dad just thought, I just want to go home. But he looked over, and there were 2 girls dressed in white, and they were like a cab driving people. They were like, they had a cab driving people places. My mom came up to my dad, she was there, and said, I have this message on my phone, and she played it for my dad, and it was a woman's voice. And the woman said, 2 strangers are in town, and you need to pick them up and take them to your home. And my dad, who was extremely tired from the trip, he just said no. And my mom got on the phone, called that woman, and said, he is too tired. He just came from Gloria. He's too tired. And that's where the dream ended. Now then, when we first heard that dream, it seemed very convoluted. I don't have a perfect interpretation for this dream, but I do want to bring some points out to you that I believe are worth noting. There are gaps in this dream that I don't know what these things mean. Maybe you do. Because I'm familiar with the dreamer, I know him so well, and I know the history, I think the interpretation will be fairly accurate. I do tend to think this is a warning, but I'm not sure. There is definitely a sense of this is a serious dream. So when I was praying to God this morning, this is what he said to me. I don't get dreams from God a lot like my dad and my daughter do, but I do hear the word of God often when I worship. So take this and filter it. I do believe it's from God. Pray on it and see. I bring it to you with great humility, knowing that I may not have this right, but I'm throwing it out there. Child, this dream I gave your father depicts a time after World War III, or as it will be called, the War of All Nations. There will be pockets of my children, Gloria, but they will be few and far between. It will be difficult, slow, but intentional to get to these pockets of my children. Thus the horse. The enemy will be eager to attack all efforts of the gathering of my children, the wolf and the coyote. But I will give them, my children, all they need to have authority over these demons. The gun. Use your authority wisely, doves. There will be other gatherings in my name, but I am not truly there. The doctor who heals did not know Gloria or what it was, which was me, and yet he posed as my child. You left, he's talking to my dad, you left knowing this gathering was not truly mine. But even within these gatherings, the remnant is present, which is the cowboy. They will see things as they truly are. War is horrible. They will know the truth. There will be and are distractions. The phone message. To try and get you off course, but stay razor sharp in your focus to get home, which is heaven. So then some other feelings or other senses, maybe other possible meanings. When the horse is fed and watered, we will be provided for. Provision will be there to fuel us on this journey as children of God. Here's another thing to think about. I sensed that our Father said, "You will see, child, that this dream is meant to keep you alert as to the direct attacks and the subtle attacks meant to sabotage your walk with me. Gloria is where I am. Find your way to me." Child, there's more. Be warned. What is coming will shock you. for it comes from the evil one, and you are purely mine. I am mightier than all the destruction you are about to witness. All will be well with you during this time, but child, you are about to see things, hear things, know things that will make you tremble. I, the Lord, am with you unto the end. Be warned and warn others that I will soon be. Be warned and warn others what will soon be upon your land. War, war, war. I think there's a lot to this as far as spiritually speaking. Literally speaking, I don't know. I know that dreams are sometimes literal, but often metaphorical. One thing symbolizes something else. Ponder these things. Think about them. If you have input, I am so open and thankful for your gracious comments and kind words of encouragement. Whatever the Lord speaks to you, please comment below. Let me know what you think. And together we can get to the finish line and get home. Heaven. Stay razor focused on Christ. He is our salvation by grace through faith. That's all I have. Love and hugs to all of you. You're in my prayers. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.